What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today you should have known, guys, we're gonna do some stuff to this guy. I talked about it in the video where I introduced it. It's really dirty right now. It just rained yesterday, but we've got some stuff to do. And honestly, guys, this video is gonna span a couple days because I'm waiting on a few items, but there's two things that are driving me crazy, actually three. The biggest one being the wheels. I cannot do black wheels. You guys know that. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know that just about everything in here has chrome or painted wheels. I just can't do black wheels. They just look like, it looks like it was shipped this way. Like, and they forgot to put the wheels on it. Like, they look like shipping wheels. Until you get up close, I mean, they're not a bad looking wheel. It's just, I don't like black wheels. So anyway, that's one of the things I'm still waiting on, guys. I'm gonna kind of reveal what I'm doing right here because this is the wheel that I chose to go with. I actually found a set of these used, relatively close to me, and they are a GM wheel. It's the same thing that we have on the Yukon. It is a 22, and ultimately I'm waiting on a set of tires. These tires they're okay. One of them is actually brand new, but I'm trying to get 3 more replacements and TPMS sensors. So this person took them off their Yukon. They robbed the TPMS sensors, which is why you see a gap there. They just pushed it down to get the TPMS out and then put a standard fill in there, so valve stem. But either way, that is the wheels that I'm going with, but you're not going to see that until a little later in the video. So what I want to start with is another thing that's annoying me, and that is this goofy antenna. I can't do this big long, look, it almost hits my garage door in the house before I get in. So we're going to do away with that. And then the other thing is, I think, and you guys have seen me do this many a times, I'm going to take the Denali off the side. I'm not much for emblems and whatnot. I'm going to take the sticker from the place that I got it from off the tailgate. I'm going to take the Denali off the tailgate. I'm going to take the Sierra off the tailgate. You can see how dirty it is back here now, but I'm going to leave the GMC. I think down the road we may put an inlay in here so it looks nice, maybe black or even the matching color. But yeah, so we're gonna ditch that stuff. And then this really bothers me, and guys, I know it's gonna be gross in here. I actually, where I picked up those wheels was on a dirt road, and so the mat looks terrible, but look at what the mat has done over time to that. It's all scratched up. Look, now look, it's ultimately supposed to be put on without the factory floor mat in there. And as a matter of fact, guys, I went to order factory floor mats. I think I told you this in the last video, but I didn't realize the factory ones were under it. So we're gonna pull the WeatherTechs out. I'm not a big fan of those anyway. Chances are I could probably sell those, guys, to be honest with you. But I got a new replacement piece for this because I can't do that, right? We can't have that. So I've got it setting, you can see it on top of my speaker, or my wheel boxes right there beside the Trans Am. I've got that, so I'm not really sure where we'll start. We'll probably start with the antenna and then work our way around. Now, as far as the antenna goes, guys, I have this tool. I know a lot of people have asked about it, but it's if you buy a new GM antenna, it comes with it, and it's plastic, so it doesn't scratch anything. It works great for removing factory ones or that size, but when it comes to like newer aftermarket ones, it doesn't do a real great job putting the new one on. I don't know where I'll keep. I've got so many antennas, guys, stacked around that I don't know that I necessarily need to keep that. And it's not going back on as long as I own it. But what I'm going with is actually from Max. I think it's Max Racing. Yeah. I'll list this in the description down below, but man, is it small. There's not much to it. It says it still gets the same reception. We'll just have to see. But it's as simple as that. And you don't have to have any tools. There's no way to even hook onto it. I mean, I guess you could put vice grips on it, but that would really screw things up. We'll just get it really tight like that, and we'll have to test the reception and see. But generally, I'm about 30 miles from the main stations that I would ever listen to. Most of the time I listen to my phone. And I'm about 50 miles from other stations. Generally with these short antennas that I install, the first thing people ask is, how's the reception? Well, everything I've ever used from Max Racing has been able to get channels like 50 miles away. So I'm fine with that. That's far enough for me. But either way, we got that on. I think what we'll do next is we will move on to, and I'll probably time lapse this since you guys have seen me do this so many times, but we are going to move on to getting this. And I'll just tell you before, I'll just start the time lapse basically when we start, but products that I'm using that I'll list down below. I'm gonna be using some fishing line to get behind this. Also gonna use my heat gun. I'm gonna use some 3M adhesive remover, some microfiber towels, and I may use some Windex just because this thing is so dirty to clean up before I use my eraser wheel. The eraser wheel is the main part of this. If you leave any kind of junk behind, that gets that old glue off, which you guys will see. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna time lapse me blowing through this. It shouldn't take me real long since this thing's pretty new. We now have that off all the way around the truck. And I will tell you guys that on the doors, I mean, it really needs me to run over it with like probably some M205 to clear off the back shadowing of that, especially on the tailgate. I didn't notice as much on the doors, but on the tailgate, there's some dirt that's just, you know, this thing gets pummeled with dirt. But either way, let's get the old WeatherTech mats out of this thing. They're not really hooked in. They're just setting in there. We'll try to hold the dirt in. Then I'm going to vacuum it out off camera. And it's so nice that it has the factory floor mats, guys. Generally, when you buy something used, it doesn't. I'm also going to try to clean that. And then we'll get, hopefully, that new piece in. Now we got it somewhat cleaned up. So looking at our piece, our new piece, it looks like it clips down and then it clips into the kick panel. So we'll set that there and let's see if we can get under this thing. I'd like to probably clean as I'm under it. I'm hoping the seat doesn't have to come out. Looks like we can maybe slide under the seat. Let's just go all the way up. Yeah, I think we'll be able to get it under the seat. Yeah, I say that. Holy cow, yeah, there's a flap that goes in the seat. I still think we can manage to get under it. Holy, that's gross. Okay, I'm gonna vacuum that off camera here and wipe that down a little bit. That's a little better. All right, let's see if we can get this guy in here. There is a huge piece that goes underneath this. I'd like to get in first. Okay, got that part in. All right. Oh, guys, so much better. The other side's got a little wear on it, but nothing like this. This was completely destroyed. Hopefully you guys could see it, but That's not dirt there. That's just all completely destroyed from dragging your foot in and out. So that looks way better. Now that we got all that stuff accomplished, it's time for the wheels. So I still got a little bit of cleaning to do on the wheels. I'll do that off camera. I'm actually cleaning the barrels of them, guys. I've got this one done. You can kind of see, but we're gonna get that done, get the tires mounted. I won't show you guys that with new TPMS sensors. I like to put new ones in anytime I'm replacing tires. And then we'll talk about the difference in tire size, wheel size. The wheels are the size are the same, but the tires are a little different. But we'll talk about that. Let's go get these tires mounted and get them on. Well, a little bit of change in plans. We are gonna go ahead and put the wheels on, but it's gonna be up here in the top garage. Got them in the back of the truck with the new tires on them, guys. So I think I told you the situation. It's been a couple days, but one of the tires was good, and it was a Nitto Crosstech 2. And so I didn't want to replace all 4 if I didn't have to. So I've got 3 brand new ones here, and we did change size a little bit. So the factory size, or at least the size that's on it right now, is a 275/50 22. These are a little bit shorter, about a ½ inch shorter all the way in diameter. These are a 285/45. So this is the same size that the Yukon has. And so ultimately that's what I chose to go with. So either way, I'm gonna probably time lapse the majority of this. I got my jack up here. I've got my tripod up here, but let's see if we can get this thing swapped over and make it look nice. One other thing that I was gonna tell you guys, this has a locking lug nut, and luckily the lock's in there, but I will be removing those. So of course they're black lug nuts. We're gonna be taking those off and replacing them with a chrome lug nut. It's kind of the stock style. I'll list those in the description down below as well, but let's see if we can get these things off. Well, a little bit of change of plans again, and that is the fact that these wheels will not fit that ginormous brake. I've seen these wheels on these trucks, so obviously they're using a spacer, which means we're gonna get pushed out at least another week because, well, I don't have any spacers, and it's gonna require that. So that's, I guess, the next step, guys, is you will see me putting spacers on this thing. I really did not want to run those. And that may be temporary. I don't know if we're even going to keep these wheels at this point. Just because, I mean, I really like the look of these wheels, but I hate running spacers. I just hate it. And so we'll find some really nice billet hub-centric ones. And when I say hub-centric, the center of the wheel will fit over it nice. You know, they're not dangerous, but I just don't like running them. I'd rather have a wheel that fit. So we'll just have to see. For now, I'm going to put the black one back on because, you know, I daily drive it. This has been a fiasco. And this has been going on for about 2 weeks since I started filming this. And it's made me crazy. So let's talk about the issues that we're having. Obviously, the newer wheels are made differently where they incorporate this guy right here into all the newer wheels. So that's why the factory ones fit and whatnot. But when you go to put other style wheels on this becomes a major issue. Okay, this new brake that GM has made. And look, I've had a lot of people ask me about putting these on my green truck. That is never, ever going to happen. There's some better options out there than this anyway that doesn't have this. So we have a couple options here, guys, and I've got some solutions here, but this right here can be ground completely flat. And there's pictures out there on the web of people grinding this. A lot of people thought that this may have been a pass-through for fluid. It's not, or at least it's not in this entire bump. People have ground this completely flat and there is nothing in this. So there's no fluid passage. Now, is it right up against the wall of this inner piece? It could be. I don't know how deep they went, but they have ground this completely flat. So I'm not gonna do that. I think we found a solution and it's a spacer. And I don't like spacers either, but I'll list these in the description. These are billet, they are 1/2 inch. And honestly, guys, I got some cheapies to try, but this guy right here is a hub-centric spacer. And when I say hub-centric, your wheel actually sets on this inner hub right here. it doesn't, your wheel isn't held on. I mean, it's held to the hub itself with the lug nuts, but the actual wheel on the newer stuff sets on this guy. And so this has that machined in. And I will tell you how tight the tolerances are on these ones that I picked up. Guys, I shoved this one into the back of the wheel here, and I'm gonna have to use a pry bar or a screwdriver to get it out. That's how tight it is in there. And so that allows me the additional clearance I need. I don't like using spacers, however. So this may just be temporary. I may end up finding a different set of wheels down the road. But so then my concern becomes, hey, what are we gonna do for lug nuts? Because now we're only gonna get like maybe 6 turns where a normal wheel would get about 8. Well, I found a temporary solution for that as well. And they're called extended lug nuts. So how this works is it's the same size as a factory one. I was gonna go to chrome anyway. But you can see they're the same length, but what this has is it has this 60-degree, just like the factory one would, but it has an additional amount of threads. It's an extended lug nut, and I'll list these in the description too. But what that allows it to do is go inside the wheel for more thread engagement. Now, these are splined. I've got another set coming that look identical to these, except they have the extended on them, but I couldn't get them quick enough. And guys, I am very impatient. I have been wanting to put these chrome wheels on ever since I bought this truck. It's made me crazy. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attempt to put this on and see if that spaces us out enough to get what we need accomplished. Now, if it doesn't, I may grind just a little bit of this off. However, I tested this with some cheap 1/2-inch spacers or 2/4 stacked up. This is about 15 mils or about 5/8, almost 5/8. So it's a little thicker. I think it'll give us the clearance we need, but if it doesn't, then we may have to come in and grind. So I'm gonna try putting the wheel on real quick, and we'll just see what happens. We're gonna try here together. I literally just, like I said, had to pry this one out of that wheel. And I know, guys, the truck is disgusting right now. It has been raining all week. And I've been out here. I've had this wheel off probably 15 times. Testing different ideas and plans that I had. And I looked at another set of wheels even, but I had already got these mounted with new tires. And I was so upset. And so I wanted to make these work, but I didn't want a 1-inch spacer spacing this thing out. I don't like that poke out look. Let us just see. These are supposed to be M14 by 1.5, which is the factory size, but man, they are not. I think we're gonna have to be pretty spot on with our placement in order to get those to thread down into the wheel like they're supposed to. Woo-wee. It's gonna be close. All right, I'm gonna keep trying. I test fit one of these in the wheel and it fits in the wheel. So it's just, you're having to center this a little more than you would normally do it. The lug nut kind of helps self-center it. And like I said, guys, these are temporary. It's just made me crazy to have these wheels and not have them on. And I think once we get a few started, it'll help kind of center this. Yeah, I see each one's going on a little better than the ones before it. We want to make sure it's going in the wheel and that's not pressing up against it. And we don't have to worry about it bottoming out. We have plenty of clearance there. And when I say bottoming out, the end of that lug nut bottoming out. But it is still, yeah, we got ample clearance there against the rotor. Now, but what's the wheel gonna look like? Is it gonna poke out and look stupid when we set it down? That's really the concern, because I'm a no poke out guy. I don't want it. No poke here, guys, sorry. Sorry for all you four-wheel drive guys that like that look. It's just not for me. All right, I'm gonna run these down by hand with a ratchet, making sure that, we're in the wheel and not on the wheel. And then we will see, we'll spin the wheel around, make sure we have the clearance we need. Because I want it to be safe. Definitely want it to be safe. So I ran those down by hand, and we have no rubbing. We're, golly, we're probably a few millimeters. It's definitely a 5/8. It's not a 1/2 inch. And I really, guys, I think if you're gonna be using this spacer, and I bought 2 and I bought 4 because I got impatient. The 4 got lost in shipping, and so I ordered 2. I don't necessarily want to run them if I don't have to. So in the back, we don't have this clearance issue, but if it looks goofy with this out 5/8 of an inch and the back, I don't even know that you'll be able to tell. The only other concern I have is, are these going to bottom out? I don't think they are, because the way this spacer is made, where the lug nut actually goes in, the face of the wheel, you have an additional bit of clearance here. So I don't want to bottom out. That's my only other concern. I don't think it's an issue. I put this up against the other wheel, but we'll know real quick when we start to torque them down. I'm not worried about bottoming out the lug nuts. That's for sure not going to happen, like the lug nut coming up and contacting the top. We've got gobs of room there. I'm concerned about this smashing into the spacer before the wheel gets tight with this, because we're still using this to hold the wheel on. This is where it's supposed to get tight up against this 60-degree angle here. So we'll just have to test it, and we'll see what happens. Here's what we're gonna find out. I test fit it again just because I'm really cautious of bottoming out that lug nut. I don't want to mess anything up. And guys, we have probably 1/2 inch of clearance before it even gets to the spacer itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna torque these down to, you know, the factory wheel gets torqued to 140. We're gonna attempt to go there, see what happens. Let me snap one of these cheap lug nuts off. I don't know. Aren't you glad I'm testing it so you guys don't have to screw it up? Woo-hoo-hoo. 140 is a lot. Back it down. I know it's supposed to go to 140, but there's nothing in the instructions on the spacers that say they can go. There's no instructions. I don't want to go to like 140 if they're only supposed to get like 100. There's 120. I generally torque to 140 most of the time, but I don't know. Let's take you off the tripod. I'm gonna go snap the center cap in here. I've got some plain ones because I don't necessarily love the GMC ones. And we're gonna step back and take a look at it from the side. It's still the suspension's kind of weird, so we may have to drive it and then see. I wanna drive it anyway. I wanna get them all on. We'll do the same process all the way around, not using spacers in the back and using the more factory style lug nuts in the back. I'm gonna do that off camera. But then we're gonna look at the side and see how much poke out we got. If it's too much, we're gonna scrap this wheel idea. Now the suspension in the front's not settled yet, so I think we've got, you know, a little bit of it kicked out. But guys, it's almost perfect. Same way in the back. I don't necessarily think you may be able to tell if you measured it, but guys, it's not visible in my opinion. So we'll look at it. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it down the road. I wanna make sure I don't have any vibrations, no crazy stuff. Was able to go ahead and get those torqued to 140. Of course, we torqued the back to 140, didn't use a spacer back there. I wanna make sure I don't have any vibrations. No vibrations, no issues. I still think I'll probably have to sync up my TPMS sensors. I did buy new ones when I put this together. So you're definitely gonna need those, and they do take a newer version. So it's not the same as the older vehicles like the Yukon, and this are different. Even though the Yukon's a 17, this is a 20, they changed them. So aside from that, I'm gonna go drive it. That'll help the suspension settle out anyway. And then we'll bring it back in here. I'm gonna retorque the wheels again, and then we will hopefully be finished with this. Just got back from the drive, no issues. No vibrations, took it up to about 75, had no vibrations, no weirdness in the wheel. Guys, this may work. This may work. Okay, so the suspension settled out a little bit. That's almost straight up and down. Actually, it's still inward just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell. And the back, I'm living with that. I can deal with that. Like I said, I think you'd have to put, because of the body lines and the plastics and stuff on this, guys, I think this is gonna work. I really do. I love it. I love it. So you guys know me, I can't do black wheels. So I think I've got these things sold, but yeah, they're gone. I can't do it. Now, will this be the wheel that stays on this forever? I don't know, you know. These are an older set of GM wheels. Same thing we've got on the Yukon. These are GM wheels. They're not, the Yukon's actually got aftermarkets because it had some curb rash. And so I replaced it all with aftermarkets. I like the aftermarket a little better. The chrome on these starts to peel. And when it starts to peel, and this one had some, as you guys, I don't know if you guys saw that, if I didn't show you a lot of the cleaning process, but when it starts to peel on the lip, then the tires start to leak. So it could potentially be an issue. I mean, I'll keep them clean, even though the truck's filthy right now, but look how much more the chrome wheel makes all the other chrome pop. Even the chrome along the bottom there, that's just filthy disgusting because of the rain. It just, I don't know, guys, it just fits the truck to me. So I like it better. We got a lot accomplished in this video. It's taken me a couple weeks to get it done with stuff getting lost. And we still got, you know, like I said, I've got a matching set, so we don't have spline in the front and non-spline in the back. But I did re-torque everything. Guys, they didn't get loose. I am going to torque them again. I'm going to drive this truck to work tomorrow. It's going to be about 70 miles round trip. I'm going to torque them again when I get home just to make sure that they don't back off. If there's any issues, guys, I'll let you know. But these seem really well made as far as the spacers go. And we got ample room to clear the brake now. And so ultimately, guys, I don't think you should use this spacer without an extended lug nut. I don't feel comfortable enough that that's enough thread engagement to get the to keep the wheel on. And it may be, but I wouldn't feel comfortable running it. But obviously we got the badges off, we got the antenna on. Things are starting to look a little nicer on this truck. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We have some more stuff that's really exciting coming for this truck. You guys know we're gonna drop it. It's gonna happen. So stay tuned to see all that stuff. But if you guys are not subscribed, go down there, hit the subscribe button. Of course, like always, ring that bell icon that notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see this thing come together.